Hello and welcome to The Hidden Perfectionist, a guide to imperfect progress in health, life, and everything in between. I'm Ashley, a coach, recovering perfectionist, and your reminder that you don't need more discipline, you need less pressure. This podcast is for the woman who's pretending like she's got it all together, but deep down feels like she's always behind. If you've ever procrastinated because you couldn't do it perfectly, or put your health on hold because life felt too overwhelming, you're not alone, and you're exactly who this podcast is for. Around here, we're ditching the all-or-nothing mindset, getting real about burnout, and learning how to make sustainable change, one messy step at a time. Let's go. Hello, and welcome back to The Hidden Perfectionist. I'm your host, Ashley, and today we're going to be talking about a big one. Honestly, it's a huge reason why so many of us stay stuck. We're talking about all-or-nothing thinking. This episode is for you if there's ever been a little voice in your head that says, if I can't do it perfectly, I won't do it at all. Or, one slip means I failed. Or, it's either a good day or a bad day. No in between. Let's get into why this shows up and, more importantly, how to start breaking free from it. But before we dive in, we gotta talk about what I'm drinking today. Today, I have a lemon seltzer, and I'm sorry, but I'm not going to have the fun little sound effect that I had last time of me cracking open the can because I made the seltzer in my Ninja Thirsty. So it's in a little glass, no fun sound effect here, but that's what I'm drinking today. That's what's giving me all my little brain power. All right, let's dive into what all or nothing thinking is. Sometimes it can be called black and white thinking. It's a type of cognitive distortion. Basically, it's a mental filter where we only see extremes. Either things are perfect or they're a failure. No middle ground or nuance, just all in or not at all. This kind of thinking shows up a lot in fitness, nutrition, and health. And it's not just annoying, it's exhausting. Let's say that you planned to go to the gym 5 times this week. Monday, you made it. You got that workout in, you did amazing. Come Tuesday, work ran late and you didn't get to it. Instead of saying to yourself, okay, well, I'm not going to be able to do 5 workouts this week, but I can still get in 4. You're like, nope, screw it. I failed. I might as well just skip the whole rest of the week and start again fresh on Monday. Or maybe you told yourself that you were going to start eating better. You packed yourself a healthy lunch and snacks that you were going to have while you were at work, but then you get there and there's donuts in the break room. You didn't plan for that. And you cave in. You decide to have one donut. But instead of just letting yourself be human and enjoy that one donut that was maybe 200, 300 calories, you tell yourself, well, I already failed. I didn't stick to my plan for the day, so I might as well have a second donut. And then your office decides to order in pizza for lunch. And, well, I'm not reaching my goals today anyway. I might as well join in on that. Screw that salad I packed for lunch. I'm going to have a couple slices of pizza. The reality is that missing one day at the gym or having one donut more than what you planned for the day isn't going to ruin your progress. But when you let that spiral into self-sabotage, it will. All right, now I know when it comes to our health, sometimes it's a little harder for our minds to fully grasp what's going on. So let's look at this from terms of taking an exam. You get to the first question and you realize that you have absolutely no idea what the answer is. So you put down your pen and paper and you turn it in and you accept that 0. That is going to guarantee you a failure. However, if you skip over that question that you don't know, or maybe take your best guess on it and continue on to the rest of the questions, you can still ace that exam, or at least pass it. One question is not what decides whether or not you pass or fail that exam. Whether you continue on after that one question you don't know does. That exam question is just like that one meal or one missed workout. It feels like a failure in the moment, but what matters is what you do next. And that brings us to a really important question. Why does this happen in the first place? There's a couple of reasons. First, perfectionism loves clear-cut rules. It feels safer to think in absolutes. I'm either on track or off track. I'm either good or bad. It removes the discomfort of living in the messy middle where things are complicated. Second, Biologically, our brains are wired to simplify. According to cognitive behavioral therapy research, categorizing things into black or white helped early humans survive. But today, it often works against us when it comes to long-term habits. It feels easier to label a day, a workout, or a meal as a win or a loss. But real change lives in the gray area, and that's way harder for perfectionist brains to accept. This is one of the biggest reasons that people struggle with their health long term. Here's what it can cause: burnout from trying to do everything perfectly, feeling like your small efforts don't count, giving up on routines after minor setbacks, increased emotional eating or binge-restrict cycles, or feeling like you're starting over all the time. When we live in extremes, the pressure gets so high that we're either on or we're off, and nothing sustainable grows in that chaos. If you drown a plant with water every single day, thinking more is better, it doesn't thrive, it dies. And if you give it nothing, same thing. Plants need the right mix of sunlight, water, rest, and time. Growth comes from balance, not extremes. And your health is no different. How do you know if you might be caught in all or nothing thinking? Let's run a little checklist. Ask yourself, do you use words like always, never, perfect, or failure a lot? Do you feel like small successes don't count unless they're massive? Do you have trouble seeing progress if it's not visible or immediate? Do setbacks feel catastrophic, like proof you just can't do it? If you're nodding along, hi. You're not broken, you're just stuck in a mindset that's really common, especially among high-achieving perfectionist types. And awareness is the first step to changing it. The good news is, you can unlearn all or nothing thinking. Here's how. Catch it in the moment. The first step is noticing when you slip into black and white thinking. If you hear yourself say, I ruined everything, pause. Ask yourself, is that really true? Practice cognitive restructuring for challenging and replacing distorted thoughts. Instead of, I missed one workout, I'm a failure, try, I missed one workout, and that's normal, I'm still committed. Celebrate the middle ground. Not every meal will be perfect, not every workout will be 100%, but every choice that leans towards your goals still counts. Shift your focus from all to more often. Set flexible goals. Instead of, I must work out 5 days a week or I fail, make it, I aim for 3 to 5 workouts, but anything is better than nothing. Flexibility builds consistency. Consistency builds results. And get professional support if needed. Sometimes these patterns run deep. Working with a coach can help you catch and shift these patterns faster. Or a licensed therapist trained in CBT can help if you find this deeply impacts your mental health. All right, I've got one more example for you that's not about food or fitness, but totally applies. Let's say you want to start reading more, and you pick up a book that you're excited about. You sit down and you try to read the whole thing in a day, except life. You've got work, you've got dinner plans, you've got sleep at some point. So you get a few chapters in, realize there's no way that you're finishing this book today, and you close it, feeling like you failed. I just don't have time to read books. So you put it back on the shelf and forget about it. Months go by, and by the time you pick it back up again, you've forgotten what you read and you have to start all over. And that cycle repeats. Now compare that to someone who reads just a couple pages a day. Some days maybe a chapter, other days maybe nothing, but they keep coming back to it. Eventually, they finish the book. Not because they powered through in one sitting, but because they didn't stop. That's what building a healthy life looks like. Not an all-day binge of workouts and meal prep that leaves you burnt out, but a few pages at a time. Small, doable actions that add up. If you're stuck in all or nothing thinking, you're not lazy. You are not uncommitted. You're just operating with a mental filter that makes it feel like small steps don't count. But they do. Small, imperfect actions that are repeated consistently create real momentum. And maybe this isn't just about your health. Maybe it's about finally cleaning out the garage, or getting through the mountain of laundry, taking the trip, starting the side hustle, or just feeling like you're actually living instead of just going through the motions. Because that perfectionist voice in your head, it doesn't just show up when you're deciding what to eat or whether to work out. It shows up when you're chasing anything that matters to you. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to keep going. One messy, powerful, imperfect step at a time. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of The Hidden Perfectionist. If it resonated with you, I'd love it if you subscribed or shared it with a friend who's tired of starting over every Monday. If you want to say hi or tell me what hit home, come find me on Instagram at ashleylyn.fitness. Next episode, we're digging deeper into how diets don't just reflect all or nothing thinking, they create it. And why the longer you stay stuck in that cycle, the harder it is to trust yourself again. Until then, grab yourself a fun little drink and give yourself some grace. You're doing better than you think.